What's up, guys? It's your boy Zwolki back out with another of the Chris Watts video to add to our collection of evidence that hopefully one day might make a change, might do something into bringing this case back open. Again, I want to reiterate that my opinions, my theories, my educational purposes are not to be opening this case back up. It's just hopefully one day they will look at it and be like, you know what? We did wrong. Hopefully we can do better and we're going to reopen this case. So I want to make that very clear going into this. Now we're going to be taking a look at the update of the petition that was created not too long ago, back in January, by Pamela Thompson. We're trying to get to 5,000 signatures. Again, is the signatures going to make a difference? Probably not. But it just goes to show that there's thousands of people that think that NK is guilty. It's not just one or two people. And if you collect all those signatures together, it's like 40 to 50,000 not subscribers, but signatures that want this reopened. We're going to be taking a look at, obviously, revamped questions about the sheets, because we need to revamp those questions and so forth, because of things that had happened. So before we go any further, what I'd like you guys to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon down at the bottom right. Hit the bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will be the first ones to watch, comment, like, and share. And again, thank you guys so much for that continued support. We are so close to getting that 50,000 subscriber goal for the first giveaway on this channel that's that big, of a MetaQuest 3 virtual reality headset that one of you lucky people will be getting at home, and I'm definitely excited to give that away. And then at 75,000, we'll be doing another giveaway, and then at 100,000, we're going to be doing another giveaway for another MetaQuest 3. But we're going to be doing another giveaway, which is an Xbox Series X. So I'm giving tons back to you guys, including merch. So why not subscribe and comment, like, and share? But let's get into this. And the first thing we're going to be talking about is obviously the update of the petition, which I definitely want to show you guys because it's slowly getting there. But we would love to see a 5,000 signature on this page. So let's take a look at it right now. So again, looking at this is the reopened criminal investigation against Nichol Kessinger and the Watts murders. If we back out of this, and we go to, if you type in Nichol Kessinger, there's 13 different ones here, and I've totaled them all up, and it's just under 45,000 supporters that want some type of justice in getting Nichol Kessinger investigated properly. So it's not just this woman that did this, which is the Pamela Thompson. She did a very good job on this description of why this petition matters. Sorry for the word usage, but we need your help. We're at 3,475 signatures thus far. We'd like to get to 5,000 signatures. So if you would like to, you can do this for free. You can do it for a little bit of a fee just to get it publicized out there a little bit more. But you can do it for free by signing it and then just putting on your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever have you, showing that you support this cause or this petition. I donated a little bit of money to publicize it to other people, but it's just something to show that for those that want to, that this case needs to be reopened and reinvestigated on the aspect of Nichol Kessinger's possible involvement. Now, I say possible involvement because people want to sit there and state that I don't know what I'm talking about, which I probably don't, because I'm not professional. I'm not educated in criminal justice. I just feel wholeheartedly in my heart, body, mind, and soul that NK had some part in this. Now, it could be physical. It could be on the sidelines, like Gypsy Rose, where she persuaded her man into killing her mother. Could have Nichol Kessinger persuaded Chris into murdering his family? Dang straight she could have. But how do we know that? We don't, because it was never looked at. It was never gone to trial, because Chris gave his confession. He pretty much dodged a bullet with the death penalty at that time, because he confessed to everything, and that's why they didn't go to trial. And it's because of the DA. I'm not gonna lie. It's the DA. The DA didn't want to go to trial. He wanted it. He took away the death penalty. He wanted this case to go as fast as possible because he was getting ready to be in the elections in November, which this case went to trial, or not trial, but came to court in November, and he wanted to look fast and good and done, over with. So, just throwing that out there. Again, for educational purposes and my opinions and theories, I can't say this is 100% legit because I don't know if it's 100% legit. It's just my opinions and theories. So, I feel like I'm trying to bring justice. I definitely feel that I've had my bumps and my hiccups along the way, but we're gonna do this together. So going over it, I want to take a look at obviously this fence that we've taken a look at before, but we have to revamp this video for a kind of more centralized point about these white dots. As you guys can see, if I take my little green circle, you can see a white dot here, white dot there, white dot here, white dot there. Now, what leads us to believe that this is in correlation with the case is, one, you can see some drag marks right here. Could be possibility of a tire marks, could be drag marks. We don't know, but this is the only spot that these drag marks are, and this is the Chris Watts home, like right here. Because if we look at said location, this is where the fence is, right here, where the playground is. The camera was supposed to be here behind the stairs, but was ripped out. But this is where the location is of possible disposal, I should say. And why? Because if we take a look at this sheet right here, this sheet shows there's been holes ripped out from here. There's another one on the back side, but you can't see it in this one. It's when they take the sheet actually to the office for analysis. But you guys can see pieces that are missing that are on the fence right here. Now, if we look at the dirt, it kind of looks like a tire track, but there was no rain that day. So if this was a tire track, you should see still tread in here. So people are believing that this is a pull, kind of like a drag mark, as you will. I don't think it was dragged, but again, like we've said before, dead weight is going to be a little bit worse because you don't have help. Like if your significant other was awake and you were carrying them into bed or whatever, they're holding on to you. They're not like squirming, or I shouldn't say squirming, but they're not like just loosely moving around. So if you're carrying something, it's going to be a little bit more of a struggle at 140 plus pounds because Shannan was pregnant. She wasn't light as she would normally be because she had with child. She was 15 weeks pregnant. She had weight on her, which there's no disrespect in that. She was a mother, a wife to be, or not a mother to be, another newborn to be coming. Baby Nichol was coming. But looking at this chicken wire you guys can see right here, this stuff snags very easily. But people were stating that in the last video that the white marks were all over the fence. There's no white. This is from the body cam footage that I pulled today, because I watched the body cam footage again. And there's no white marks here. There's no white marks over here. There's no white marks over here. It's only by the playset, which is the little cloth that was ripped off of the sheet. Now, again, I want to reiterate, up here behind the stairs is where the camera was placed, because Chris did mention he had some problems of people going up the stairs and checking his back sliding glass door. Now, my first initial thought was that this spot was where they could have taken her out the window. It could still be a possibility. But then I'm starting to think that he possibly took her out the sliding glass door. Now, if I bring it up here for you guys to take a look at, I'll show you an overhead view that I want to take a look at. So the white vehicle could be the white vehicle that Nichol Kessinger had rented, or it could be the silver truck, which I'll show you here in a second. This is where they could have been parked. The tread could have been here. But this red circle is where those white pieces were pulled. Now, looking at the body cam footage again, there was no lights here whatsoever. The blue mark could be one indicator of where they have pulled her out. And when I say we, Chris and Nichol. The second one is the yellow spot right here, which, and again, the green spot, the green smaller circle, is where the camera was that was actually ripped from said wall. Because he couldn't figure out how to remove the cloud right away. So instead he pulled away the router, and then he pulled the camera completely off. Because he did state in an interview there was a camera in the back and there was a camera in the front. And he's talking about the ring camera in the front and there was a camera in the back, which was this location right here. But again, there's no lights where the white is. You guys can see there's no lighting shortage right there. So in the morning of said murders at 5, 6 o'clock, it would have been somewhat pretty dark back there instead of the front where there was a whole bunch of lighting. Now, if you look overhead in a satellite image, this is where said cars would have been taken down. This is where the neighbors had found on camera. If I shrink this down, the camera was right here. This is where Chris made it look like that he had been taking Shannan out. But like in the video that we posted yesterday, there's no way for Shannan to have fit in that truck because of how small and condensed it was. So the next best way that they could have done this would have been out here in a different vehicle. This neighbor, which was the Betty, which was the infamous red vehicle that we think that pretty much came out of this garage door. I'm guessing the husband of Betty was the one with the red car. We're going to look into the red car, but I don't think it was a red car. Somebody says it was Jim, but again, I'm more or less towards the side of there was Chris Watt's truck here, and down here was Nichole's truck down here. Because again, her phone pinged in Frederick, Colorado, that only time that morning, the day of the murders. She did not have an alibi. She was not at work. And her phone pinged in Frederick, Colorado. That's why we need to investigate her properly. To either, one, show her innocence, or two, show her guiltiness. And with her going into hiding, that doesn't really support her innocence. It supports a guilty side. Now, the vehicles that are in question are a white Ford Runner or a Dodge Dakota that you guys can see right here. This vehicle, she rented. She rented for multiple purposes. But this one down here is her work truck. And Betty stated that she saw this the night of the murders and the morning of the murders. We've watched that clip before that Betty stated that she saw this truck in the front because she said it didn't look like Chris's truck, which was a different Ford F-250. Now that we found it out that it is gas powered, not diesel. But Betty sure enough said it was a silver truck with a topper on it because Chris' truck, the F-250, did not have a topper. This one is not necessarily a truck, but it's a Ford Runner. Kind of looks like it has a topper on it if it was in darkness. But she said that morning it looked like a silver gray truck. So I don't think it was this white truck because she had this truck on different occasions when they went out to sand dunes and so forth like that. I want to say it's this truck because she said, Betty did, the neighbor on the left side, not the right side, said she saw this the morning of the murders. So we've looked at a lot of different things. We've looked at the back of the house. We looked at the chicken wire, which is very snaggable. I've had chicken wire on my fence before to keep out rabbits and what have you. This stuff can snag super, super easily. We've looked at the dirt, where this could be a possibility of this being tire tracks, which I don't think so because it didn't rain that morning or that night. So this could be drag marks instead. We've taken a look at the white dots that we can see right here, right closer to here and to here, but it's not on any of the fence, and it's right next to these indicators right here that you can see on any body cam footage that they came that day. This body cam footage was the day that was called into questioning for Shannan being missing. So the cops went everywhere. They went on the back of this house. They went inside the yard. They looked everywhere. And this is for where the body cam footage was at. The sheet that they found at location where Shannan was unfortunately buried, this sheet, and on the opposite side where you can see at the criminal justice place, showed there was holes that were missing and snagged, which this correlates with the image that we just saw. So I'd like you guys to do in the comments below. Again, please be respectful. Obviously, we're doing this just for evidence to show that she could have gone out the back, because of the truck that we saw before. There's no way she was fitting in Chris's truck with her daughters in there, in the back there. So I'm leaving to believe that it's either the yellow one or the blue one. I used to think that it was the blue one, but with him removing the camera from the yellow side, I'm thinking more towards the yellow that she was taking out the sliding glass door. Now, it could have happened that this whole murder happened in the basement. It could have happened upstairs. We still don't know 100% because they didn't pull all the evidence that they collected in plastic bags. They literally collected all the evidence in plastic bags. Some wore gloves, some didn't wear gloves. They took that evidence. They kind of looked at it a little bit. We've heard it, that they viewed it here and there. The case didn't go to trial. And for what? Because they got their main man. They got Chris. Chris confessed to murder. He confessed, one, to Shannan at the beginning. He didn't confess to the girls. He said he didn't kill the girls, which I believe, but I don't believe. The man was a great father in the beginning. He's not now. He's a monster. He's a psychopath, as they call it. He had characteristic of being a narcissist and a psychopath in the beginning. He just didn't react to it until he wanted something so much, as in Nichol, that he was willing to commit murder of his entire family. I still think to this day that somehow, some way, he was not alone. I'm gonna have that with me till I'm gone, that he was not alone that morning. He had some help, some shape or form, if it was physical or an accessory, that somebody helped clean up the mess, cleaned it up, and Nichol Atkinson was the one that fooled their plan. If she wouldn't call that morning and had the police there, I think they would have covered up everything to the point where it would have been way harder for them to find that Chris was the one that committed murder. I mean, lo and behold, back in the day when I was watching this, when we watched it on the news back almost 6 years ago now, when I watched it the first time and I saw him with his closed arms, I'm not, again, schooled in visual analysis of people's body language and stuff like that. I mean, you can tell sometimes when people are lying, just by their mannerisms, the way that they look and so forth, and how they move. And this man showed every inkling that he was at fault by, one, the body cam footage when Chris was pacing in the house with the neighbor, and he thought he was going to get away with it. And then he saw that he was on camera. He freaked. And then when the news anchors came out, the different News 9 and News 11, and there was 5, and a lot of news broadcasting came out and interviewed him. He laughed. He chuckled. You saw no empathy, saw no worry, no crying, no upsetness in his... Upsetness? Is that even a word? You couldn't see nothing in this man's face. And yet, some people still believe that this man is innocent. That the company of Anadarko had something to play, or it could be. I'm not quite sure. But that's why we need to reopen this case. They talk about budgeting. They talk about, oh, it's not in the budget to reopen this case. We're just going to waste our time. What else do you got to do? The DA makes thousands of dollars in money. Roughly more than $100K. More than, in some cases, more than $250K. We've seen the DA jokingly on his wife's podcast state that he jokingly got 80 grand. Could that be truth? And then they sit there and go after channels like Behind Criminal Minds for defamation because the man called you out on it and you don't want your name to be slandered, but yet you're the one that put it out for everybody to hear and watch? Just saying. You came forth and said that you would not go on anybody's podcast, anybody's channel. You would not listen to these junior detectives that don't know what they're talking about, but yet you went on your wife's podcast to talk about the long, curly, blonde hair that Celeste and Cece had, which they didn't. They didn't have long, long blonde hair. A lot of discrepancies are up in the air. And obviously we see two sides to this case. We see the good, we see the bad. And unfortunately, the bad sometimes is coming out and showing its ugly face. But for those that are good on this case, that want to find the true thing, when I say true thing, is at Nichol. Eventually, I feel it coming. I have every doubt in my mind, body, mind, and soul, that we'll see somewhat of karma come back for Nichol. And I say this every time. I don't want harm to Nichol. I don't want anybody to harass Nichol if they find her. We want the police and law enforcement to wake up and see that they messed up. We're human. I mess up. You guys possibly messed up too. And we need you guys to realize that and open up the case and reinvestigate it on this person, NK. If she's innocent, great. If she's guilty, but how are we going to know if we don't open up this case? That's all you got to do is re-look at the evidence. You got your main guy, but you have an accomplice. And like I said before, finding her as innocent would definitely let her have a normal life. Well, somewhat of a normal life. She still destroyed a family. And she's living her life like nothing happened, which is wrong. She's living her life while 4 innocent souls are gone because she wanted to get her jolly stuff off with with Chris, a married man, when she could have found a single man. She wanted to Google marrying a married man, mistress, butt stuff, when a man was married. She could have found somebody that was single. So, please comment down below your guys' thoughts on this. If you guys have not looked at the criminal investigation against Nichol on change.org, I will link that in the description for you to go over there and sign if you would like to. You don't have to. Again, it just shows law enforcement and detectives that there are people that want this to be relooked at. It might help, it might not. We don't know. But what's the problem with shooting her shot in the dark and trying? So, again, I thank you guys for watching. Please take care, be safe to each other, and keep, as always, nerding or being nerdy, and keep on nerding on. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.